Coming to you from a wrong turn off Route 66. Somewhere in the Sonoran Desert, it's James Out West, featuring Ryan Rooks.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, James Out West, October 13th, 2020. It's already been one hell of a year, folks. It's almost over. But we are here to talk about football with my buddy Ryan Rooks. Thanks for coming back.
Absolutely.
Now, we'll get into the stank-ass team of the week, which happens to be that helmet sitting right here.
Thank you.
Right over there. With that, what an awful performance.
Horrible.
On a Sunday night. Jimmy Garoppolo looked bad, bro.
I'm telling you.
Jimmy Garoppolo looked bad.
We'll talk more about that.
All right, so last week, week 5, obviously isn't over yet. We got a game tonight, Tuesday Night Football. Gotta love it. Only in 2020. Tuesday Night Football.
For this game.
Me too. It should be a good game.
It's about time to see Tennessee play football.
And I like to see them lose.
Think so?
Yeah, closet Buffalo Bills fan. Bills Mafia. They're very much like us.
Yeah.
So, now, week 5, couple of great games that did happen. Last night being one of them. The Chargers playing the Saints. The Chargers gave them everything they could handle. Saints come back and win in overtime.
Yep.
Chargers quarterback of the future. Seems like they got it right.
I'm telling you.
Kid's legit. The kid is legit.
I like him. I think he's going to be a stud.
He looks like he's still very young. Like he's got pimples on his face. He's got some acne scars. His hair's still long. He hasn't like grown into his body yet. Like he's going to be good for them. Good for them for getting it right. Good for them.
Unfortunately for Tyrod to get stabbed.
Again.
But
yes. Again, he will always be that guy that loses his job to injury.
Yep.
Which you're not supposed to do. But he did. Now, we can get into a couple other games. I think there's some upsets in there. I got 8 games right with 1 game to go. You got 8 games right with 1 game to go. Not the best of weeks, not the worst of weeks. But my Cleveland Browns won and we're 4-1. We're 4-1. This is unbelievable.
It was good.
They're scoring like crazy. The offense is scoring. My biggest thing that we found with this team is they're playing like real professional football. Like an actual team. Like they only had 2 penalties last week. I don't know that that's ever happened to a Cleveland Browns ran franchise. Ever. They only have 2 penalties.
I love that you're saying that Cleveland's finally playing football.
Yeah, like real football. Like not since I was like a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Like right now they're talking about
Jim Brown days.
I'm not that old. Goddamn. Your San Francisco game, let's jump to that because what did I tell you last week about Fitzmagic? Is that it could happen and you guys looked ripe for it, and that's exactly what happened. Jimmy Garoppolo goes out there, lays an egg, gets benched for himself.
3 interceptions in the first half. Okay, I know he's coming off an ankle injury. It's not Garoppolo anymore. I'm surprised they didn't put in Mullins. They went with Breida. Or no, excuse me, Breida.
CJ Beathard.
Beathard, excuse me. Oh, my God, Breida ran all over us. It was horrible. We played the worst football.
You knew that Breida was going to do that. That's a revenge game.
Yeah.
And they were feeling it. Fitzmagic was rolling.
And then Tua came in and did it to us.
It's just...
No. I'm forgetting week 5.
All right, so let's move on to week 6. No Thursday night football, but we have tonight's game. It's still week 5, but we have tonight's game. So no Thursday night football. It has gotten moved to Monday night. Kansas City at Buffalo. Yep. Buffalo's currently +3. We'll get to that game later.
So, again, have 2 Monday night football games.
Yeah. Cardinals at Dallas. The Dak injury. Well, we won't get into it, but Dallas is favored 2.5 at home with Andy Dalton being the quarterback. That's probably a great play, in my opinion. I like the Cardinals. I want the Cardinals to win. I think they're too sporadic. I think it's going to be big lights, and Cliff Kingsbury is going to be big eyes. Cliff, back in Texas, need to prove a point. I'm going to throw the ball 50 times. That's a recipe for a loss. Now, although Dallas' defense can't stop the pass. So, but do they rally around the red rifle, Andy Dalton? Does Andy Dalton-led Dallas Cowboys win the NFC least?
They might have a solid backup with Dalton, but they're not doing that. I'm sorry.
The NFC least is terrible.
It is horrible.
They're in first place right now. So
that's just hilarious to say, but yes, it's true.
So, all right, well, let's not skip around. Let's get up to the top here. We got Chicago at Carolina. Carolina coming off a nice victory. Chicago coming off of a victory. We've got a Thursday night victory at that, Tom Brady.
Yep.
Forget what was that? Just 4. 4 downs, the fourth quarter?
No.
I'll have 4 scoops of avocado ice cream. I'm not sure what TB12 was doing there.
And he's the GOAT, supposedly?
I like that he made fun of himself, though, and put LeBron's face on his own helmet. Like, congratulations. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Good way to play himself up. I'm taking Carolina minus 2.5. I think Teddy Bridgewater's coming into feeling good about this, playing very positive football, complimentary football. That's the big term going on right now, complimentary football. They are using Mike Davis like they use CMC, Music Factory. They've got a great team running right now, defense playing just enough. They got good weapons on the outside. I think Chicago and big Nick Foles is not the answer.
I don't think Nick Foles is the long-term answer, but he's always been the inner. And I think him and Allen Robinson, man, Chicago looks good. I take Chicago. I'm going to differ on you on this one.
All right. Now we got Cincinnati Bengals at the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I'm not going to – now, 7.5 points is a lot of points, but I think Indy gets right. They'll be at home. They still have a really good defense. Just because the Browns torched their defense, the Browns have torched every defense except for the Baltimore Ravens in week 1. So for now, I'm still going to believe that Indianapolis has a great defense. They were the number 1 ranked defense before Cleveland saw them.
Yep.
I still believe that's the same team.
Yep.
They were down a couple of players. Bengals are still young. Who knows if that head coach is really the right head coach for what's going on there. I saw A.J. Green quit on a play. I'm going Indy all day.
I'm taking Indy as long as Phillip Rivers doesn't keep throwing 5 interceptions. But, yeah, I'll take Indy.
Now, the Atlanta Falcons fired their GM, fired their head coach in a very classy way.
Out. We brought this up last week. Which coach was going to be gone?
Yep. And it was him, and they took the GM.
Yep.
Okay. At Minnesota. Minnesota, heartbreaking loss in Seattle. I don't blame Zimmer for going for it, but at the same time, Mike Lombardi said on one of his podcasts earlier in the week that first thing a head coach's job is to do is to play, it's crazy, is to not lose. Play not to lose the game, like to not lose. So if that means we're go up by 8, and Russell's going to do what Russell does, and let's say he leads them down the field and scores, and they go for 2 and they score. So you got to get 2 defensive stops. If you can't do that, the game's tied and you go to overtime. Now, if he gets it and they run the clock out and yada yada yada, I like the aggressiveness.
Yes,
I 100% like the aggressiveness, and if it worked, everybody's going to be okay. But at the same time, when you know you're on the road in a hostile place. Now, granted, they didn't have the fans there to be hostile, but still knowing what's going to happen, I'm more conservative. I don't know that I go for it, but I can't fault him for going for it.
You're either the hero or the loser.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're going to get criticized.
He said he was going to do Zimmer said, no questions, I would do it again. Yeah. I get it. So,
Ron Rivera, the reason he's got the nickname.
Yep. Riverboat Ron.
Yep.
So, minus 3.5, I'm taking Minnesota. I think this is a get-right game. I think Atlanta's done. I don't think they're going to be able to come back. I mean, you saw Matt Ryan. I don't know if he's just done, if his arm is done, if he's just doesn't believe in the players around him, or he's just what's going on, but he does not
He's
look
not
right.
Leaning. If you see his throws either right behind or right over, it's just numb.
He doesn't look right.
I agree. I'm taking Minnesota, and we've been kind of hitting on Minnesota giving up digs. They've got Adam Thielen leading in touchdowns this year.
He's balling out. And they got Justin Jefferson. They've got a young Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah.
They've got talented guys. And don't forget sure-handed Kyle Rudolph. Like, they still have guys. Now, if Dalvin Cook is not going to play this game because he's got a groin injury, and it looks like he's not going to play because they have a bye week, I believe, after this, I still think 3.5 against this Atlanta team. I'm still taking that point spread. Now, we'll tell you, this next game, I can't pick with my heart. It's Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point favorite, as they should be. I think this is showing respect to Cleveland, in my opinion, because Cleveland's 4-1. That 3.5, the way that Pittsburgh's playing right now, that should be a 6.5-point spread.
This is going to show what your offense is actually what they are. They're going up against a good defense. You guys have weapons. You guys have been putting up points. Now let's see what real hard-nosed freaking football is, right? I don't think you guys do it.
So I completely agree with you. I want to see how close the game is. Do I want them to win? Yes. Do I expect them to win? No. I didn't expect them to win this game when the schedule came out. I didn't expect them to win after they've gone on a 4-game winning streak. I expect them to split with Pitt, and they're not going to do that winning there. They'll split with them in Week 17 when we're at home. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh wins this game. Cleveland covers. It's 3.5. I think they lose by a field goal. I think it's tie game and game time.
Oh, we might have to make a side bet.
So, okay. All right, so the next game. Oh, boy. The tale of two terrible kitties. The Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are plus 3.5 at home. Minshew Mania looks flat on his face. Maybe he needs to grow a beard. I'm not sure. Detroit's not good, though. 3.5 points. I like it, but this is going to be one of those odd games. I'm going to take the road team. I'm going to take Matt Stafford, essentially.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I've been saying this. I think Stafford's due for a game. Detroit, this is a game they can win. They got AP in there. See what he can do for him.
Kenny Galladay, they've got weapons. The defense flies around the ball. They're just not good. It's like it's almost like every time with them. They're good for 3 quarters. They're good for 2 quarters. They'll show glimpses of, look, they beat the Cardinals.
Right.
So it's like that can be done. So again, if I wasn't even, let me put it this way, if I'm playing parlays, this game is not going in it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on. Baltimore at Philly. Philadelphia gave Pittsburgh a game. Now, Pittsburgh's defense, what they like to do is when they're up big, they kind of lay off the gas a little bit, allowed Philly to come back. Don't mistake it. Philadelphia is still not a good team, in my opinion. I don't think they righted the ship by scoring a lot of points against Pittsburgh when I think Pittsburgh knew it was never a game. The score was close, but it was never a game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Baltimore minus 7.5. I think Baltimore, even playing bad last week, covered. I still think they beat Philly by 8, 10, 12 points. So I'm going to take Baltimore in that one.
Baltimore looks off, but it's a Harbaugh coach.
Yeah.
He's going to right the ship. I take Baltimore.
All right, moving on now. Houston at Tennessee. This game may or may not be played. We're not sure yet. There's no point spread on it. So for the mere fact of that, we're not going to really – I don't know what to talk about. Tennessee's playing tonight. So we're going to just mark that one off the books. Vegas isn't even giving points on it right now, so you can't bet it if you want to. Moving on.
Houston sucks. Let's not even get into it anyways.
All right, moving on. Oh, that's hilarious. The Washington football team is at the New York G-Men. Shout out Chris Berman.
Hey, and shout out Alex Smith. We called it. If he gets in, man, he got sacked, 6 times? And he was a champion. Dude, they lost, but you know what? Shout out Alex Smith.
It was scary. I know I've said this, for him, I'm glad, his body, his choice, I get that. But man, oh man, seeing that, what he went through and watching the documentary of it and then seeing him get to be able to go out there, he had to do it for himself, and I get that.
Don't play him again.
You saw
he got what he needed.
But you saw what Aaron Donald said. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was like, that leg is strong because he was on top of him, rode him like a piggyback.
Did you see him jump?
He jumped on top of him. Please keep him out of the game, though.
Yes, he got his a little intro back.
What if Alex was like, look, I can run this team better than anybody else?
Yeah.
I mean, so again, his body, his choice. I'm just, every time I see him, I cringe. My stomach curls. I'm just like, I feel so bad. But what's the likelihood of it happening again?
Right.
So.
But I mean, what are they going to ride Kyle Allen?
No, I don't know. Is Dwayne Haskins going to not be third string? Is he going to play?
Right.
How are you going to take a guy, demote him from starter to third string, have that guy have his puppy die the next day of a seizure?
Oh, look at you being all sympathetic.
Then, he's a Ohio State guy. Then being deactivated, essentially, not going because he's feeling sick. He's probably depressed. Now, hey kid, you're back to being a starter.
No,
that's playing with people's emotions.
There's more to this story. Even after last week, Ron Rivera talked about this and made some so very simple. No, this is how I'm going to do it. Alex Smith deserved it. BS.
Okay.
There's more to it.
Okay. Well,
I saw Washington. Going all the way
Giants
back.
are so bad. I'm going to take the Giants. This will be the first time I take the Giants this year. I'll take them. -3. Whew, okay. All right. Denver at New England. That's the game that got moved.
Yep, one of them.
Around. That's at New England. Denver's not good. I don't care if it's Brian Hoyer, if it's Cam Newton, if it's Jaron Stidham. I'll take New England. Now, we don't have a point spread on that. My guess it's going to be 7, and that's where I would take it. If it's anything more than that, I wouldn't pick the game. What say you?
I'd say pretty much. I'd say anything less than 9.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm taking New England.
Now, moving on, the New York Jets, another dumpster fire. just like the whole state. Both teams are on fire. That state's on fire. At Miami, coming off this huge win, Miami's getting a lot of love for this. This is also an indictment on how bad the Jets are. The Miami Dolphins are an 8-point favorite.
When was the last time that happened?
8 points. Dan Marino, I am sure. 8-point favorite. I'm going to go with Fitzmagic. We're going to roll the dice here at -8 because the Jets stink.
Oh, yeah. Fitz putting it back on the Jets. Absolutely. Jets suck. And this is, I think, the next week we're going to see that coach gone. If not,
yeah, I could see that. I could see that absolutely. All right, moving on. Now, this is going to be a great game simply because we have the presumed GOAT. Presumed GOAT.
With 4.
With the 4 up in there. But he's got 6.
And so confused.
But he's got this, so he can say this all he wants because that 4 don't mean nothing. He's got 6 of those rings. But he's playing, in my opinion, if I had to start a franchise with anybody in their prime.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is the underdog in this game. At home, I'm taking Green Bay because I think they flat out win this game.
Tampa Bay looked rough this weekend. How many times did their defense just destroyed?
Offensive line looks shoddy. Yeah. I still think it's going to take them time. It's a first year. I mean, even though he's the GOAT, it's the first year with doing stuff.
Okay, but okay. Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers is not being talked about as much in the MVP race because of what Russell, Mr. Unlimited, is doing. And
19 touchdowns.
No, it's amazing. Look, is he deserving of the MVP? He keeps playing this way 100%. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be deserving of the MVP? He keeps playing this way 100%. Was Dak Prescott, before his foot made a left-hand turn, deserving of being in the MVP? 100%. Josh Allen being in the MVP? Yes. So this is one of those places where a lot of guys could get it, but I think Petty Rogers is here. Petty Rogers is the one that's going to go, yeah, it'll come down to record. Yep. Russ will probably win because there's that big push of Russ never got a vote, and it's not because he won't be deserving, because he will. He will be. So you can't fault it if he gets it, but some people are going to say, well, what about Aaron?
Right.
With that, I think Aaron Rodgers goes off another 3 and some change, 3 or 4 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, big game. Defense shows up. They move on to still being undefeated.
I agree. And I think it's coming down. I was actually looking this up, the passer rating for the two between Russ and Aaron. So Russ has 129.4, I believe.
Okay.
Aaron's at 128.6.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll see.
That's awesome. It'll be a close race. This will be the talking point for the talking heads on TV.
Yep.
Every day for the next 4 months.
Or longer.
Because, whoever didn't win it, they'll be bringing it up.
Right.
All right, now the Sunday night game, we got the Los Angeles Rams, who look for real. They look like they're back to their old ways at some team across from Oakland that's favored by, they have a 3.5-point underdog. I'm taking the Rams in this. Obviously, you guys look like doo-doo.
Yeah. Our defense is depleted. We don't know who. We paid so much money for this dang quarterback, but he's not our quarterback. And our coach isn't making a decision on who he's going to choose. You know, we got all of our weapons back. It was the first time that we had Debo, Kittle, Mostert, and Garoppolo on the field.
Yeah.
And that happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You get dog walked. It's ridiculous.
We went from being the best team in the NFC West to possibly the worst team.
Yeah, no, not possibly. You guys are.
I'm not going to say that, but yes, I'm taking the Rams. They look so much better. I can't, as much as it hurts me, you have to take the Rams.
100%. Now, Monday Night Football. We have 2 games. Like we said, Kansas City at Buffalo. That game was the Thursday game. It's being moved. Right now, Buffalo's +3. Kansas City coming off the loss at home versus the Raiders. As much as I would love to see Buffalo win this game and keep that streak going and all that, I'm going to take Kansas City because I think that whatever happened last week is not going to happen this week.
Think so?
Yeah. Buffalo's tough. Well-coached team. Got it going. But I'm going to take the Super Bowl champs on the road on Monday night.
I disagree.
Lights come out. Stars show up. I'm going Kansas City Chiefs. Patty Mahomes. And you're taking Buffalo, okay?
This is people are starting to figure things out against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a hands down greatest right now as far as playing the game at quarterback. Buffalo's coming off a short week, but Kansas City got exposed. you can view that videotape and watch how they did that. Use that. I take Buffalo.
Okay. And, I mean, like I said, 3 points, so that's kind of nice as well, a little cushion. And then the next game, people here are probably very excited about. We got the Arizona Cardinals at Jerry's World.
Yep.
I was going to say Dallas, but it's in Arlington. Dallas is a underdog in this by 2.5 points, strictly because of the Dak situation, the horrendous injury that he went through.
Man, horrible.
They came back and won that game. They are currently in first place in their weak-ass division. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be a statement game for the Cardinals, showing up that they're for real, and they absolutely can do that. They absolutely can do that.
They're not going to show they're for real against Dallas right now.
But Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, has a lot of miles and a lot of experience. He's going to be able to hold the fort down with this team. They're going to have to feature the run more. They're not going to throw the ball 60 times. Their defense is going to be what it's been, Swiss cheese. It's going to be a lot of scoring. It's who's going to score last.
I think so.
It's hard for me to bet against the Dallas Cowboys at home on a Monday night, regardless of who's quarterback, because they still have a lot of skill positions. And Cliff Kingsbury has not shown me enough that he can be. He falls into those times where he tries to be the smartest man in the room.
Right.
Tries to outthink it instead of just knowing, look, this team can't do this, exploit that, Bill Belichick-esque. He doesn't do that at all. No, I'm going to force it because this is what we do.
But you can do that against Dallas Stevens. That's the difference. I think. I'd take Arizona.
All right. Oh, man, the people here are going to hate me. All right, this one's for you, Dub. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys, plus 2.5. I just think the stars come out. Listen, are they going to want – the NFL has their hands in a lot of shenanigans, okay? You don't think that they don't want the Dallas Cowboys to win this game?
Right.
There was something that was mentioned, again, I want to go back to it. It was Michael Lombardi. Shout out to Michael Lombardi. He's talking about how the NFL has a list of head coaches and GMs that they want to see get promoted.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, they can't place those players or those people into those positions because it'd be against the rules. It's highly illegal. Against their all their bargaining agreements. Yes, all their everythings. These guys have a company. They farm it out to a company, like a consulting firm.
Right.
These guys worked for the NFL that are in this consulting firm. They're going to help. That's who's picking this Atlanta head coach. That's who's picking this Atlanta GM. Arthur Blank hired that. Arthur Blank is he's a company man. He's a very much of a what the NFL wants, I'm going to do. Great relationship with them. They're going to place guys. So Eric Bieniemy will probably be the head coach in Atlanta. Not Houston, not anywhere else, in Atlanta. They're going to make sure he gets a job.
Before the end of the year?
No. It'll have to wait till the end.
Okay.
But I thought that was interesting that they have a list of people that they want to see placed in positions. And that happens from time to time. Very, that should be concerning.
Throw in an algorithm and just say, hey, this is how it's going to be.
Or having people make favors for people. I think that's going to be interesting. So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought that was wild. Minnesota being 1-4. What the hell's going on there? Kirk Cousins, 7-32 against winning teams.
Man.
That's not even primetime Kurt. That's not Sunday Kurt. That's everyday Kurt. 7-32 against winning teams. Most of their division are winning teams.
And they're the leading rusher right now, don't they?
Yeah, until he pulled a groin or something, so we're not sure.
Yeah, but still, he had it, weapons, but yeah. The biggest thing that we kind of touched on, but 8 games changing.
9 teams getting changed around
the
over the
Chargers
next 4 weeks. Yeah, Chargers
getting
getting
the worst
screwed.
of it.
Chargers are getting screwed on this, but maybe not because maybe it is a lost season for them in the sense of they've got defensive guys down. You got a rookie playing that needs to cut his chops. It would be great to be able to get a nice early pick to go along with what they have on that team because they can use it on both sides. So you end up with the 4th, 5th, 6th pick in the draft, maybe the 2nd or 3rd. You're going to end up with really good talent, and you don't need a quarterback.
And if that defensive line stays healthy, they're good.
They're very good. They're very good. They're going to be a challenge in the AFC West for sure.
Absolutely.
We need to touch on this, obviously, because it did happen. We mostly talk football, but when things transcend even football, LeBron James, Akron's finest, coming away with his 4th championship in what may be one of the most difficult ways to win in NBA history or in sports history, with it being in a bubble and it being just so unknown. 4th ring, congratulations to LeBron James and J.R. Smith. I am sure as shit not saying congratulations to L.A. Lakers. They can suck it. But J.R. Smith and LeBron James, very happy for y'all.
Hey, this one was for Kobe, man. This was awesome. It was great. I know that you're bitter about LeBron.
No, I'm not bitter.
Yeah, right.
I'm a Cavs fan.
Okay.
I'm not a Lakers fan.
Right, okay. But the funniest thing to me is watching that game at the end. Whose shirt was off immediately?
J.R. Smith. He was going right back to 2016.
I was dying laughing.
And I loved LeBron's speech at the end.
Yeah.
You could tell he was tired. This is what gave me solace in that too, is when I saw what he did in Cleveland in 16-1 and the emotions that overcame him and what he did, and he fulfilled a promise that he's been promising forever.
Right.
I'm not bitter. I just know that if he'd have stayed, we'd have won.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what could have been type things. But that's not being bitter because I'm happy that he won. I'm happy that he won. And I like him. Give him his damn respect too. Like, I'm happy he said that.
Good for you.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
But the Lakers can kick rocks.
Oh, man.
Anyways. Oh, and so this lines up next season. Obviously, they should be the favorite, depending on where people move.
And Jimmy Butler's going to get paid. That boy played his heart out. That was amazing watching him play.
Him and his Wario stash.
Yeah.
He for sure, he balled out.
Find a barber down there, homie.
Bro, they had one on site.
Yeah.
He decided not to go.
Yeah.
He wanted to look ragged. That's okay, though.
That's
okay. I just know 20 years from now, his kid's going to be like, Dad, what was that?
You were in
What
the
is going on
finals
here? He does. He looks like Wario from Mario Kart.
yeah.
So, at any rate. All right. Well, that finishes up this week's episode. We got through all the games, talked about last week. Hopefully your Niners show up. They won't.
No.
We're going to see what happens here with the Cleveland Browns.
They won't.
This is a huge test, obviously. I just wanted to keep it close. I expect this to be a loss. I think we said this last week. It's a trying time in the world, in this country. We don't get political because we are on opposite sides of the spectrum on some stuff, not all. But not telling people to vote, but just give people respect, give them space, take some time, take a step back, be a little bit nicer, smile, wave to people. It's amazing what that does.
Open
and
a
how
door.
how that passes around, and say good day and say, how are you doing?
Absolutely.
Let's be cordial and get this country back to where it was, because right now it's weird. It's so weird that the Browns might win the Super Bowl. And on that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been James Out West featuring Ryan Rooks. We will see you guys soon.
Thank
Peace,
you.
love, and joy.
One love.